Hello, and thank you to the Smithers Exploration Group for inviting SeabridgeGold to present at this year's Rock Talk. The focus of today's talk will be on Seabridge's exploration efforts at the Iskut project. As part of this talk, I will be making forward-looking statements. Seabridge began a review of assets in the gold market downturn in 2016, looking for undervalued assets that fit our business model by having a resource, a location in North America, and exploration upside. We reviewed districts across North America, and with our experience working at KSM, felt that the Iskut property was an underexplored, large land package with previously unrecognized upside. The Iskut property mostly comprises of sedimentary rocks of the Stihini Formation and overlying volcanic rocks and volcanically derived sedimentary rocks of the Hazelton Formation. These are intruded by Triassic-Jurassic diorite plutons responsible for mineralization in the area. It was the presence of these plutons that we believe drives mineralization. The volume of gold showings and mineralized occurrences indicated that systematic property-wide exploration could help tie these showings together and develop an exploration model. As you can see by the map showing the historic min-file occurrences, most of the previous exploration effort has focused on the low-hanging fruit and easy to access close to the river occurrences. The Mitchell-Swede intrusive mapped by the survey above the Johnny Mountain mine had a large alteration footprint of similar intensity to our porphyry deposits at KSM, and here we developed a new target we termed Quartz Rise, located here. Most of the previous work at the property had been drilling out the Bronson Slope porphyry deposit, which has a measured and indicated reserve of 2.2 million ounces of gold and 503 million pounds of copper, or exploring for snip mine high-grade gold analogues. With the acquisition of the Iskut property, we also inherited the environmental liability at the historic Johnny Mountain mine, which closed in the late 1990s. Over the past several years, Seabridge have been working with our Teltown partners to reclaim the abandoned mine. We've cleaned up the interior of the old mill building, the old tank farms, and addressed several standing orders on the historic mine site. The left of the slide highlights an article from 10 years ago, and the picture at the top right of the slide is the mill building today. We'll be actively working over the next several years to continue the cleanup of the site. Our exploration efforts at Quartz Rise have initially centered around a few concepts. Firstly, that the skyfault structure is a regional basement scale structure that is responsible for district scale mineralization. Secondly, that the well-developed lithocap that we mapped at Quartz Rise has a fertile porphyry source below. The map in this slide indicates the Quartz Rise lithocap occurs close to the top of Johnny Mountain, and directly below it to the south, intruding the Hazelton volcanic rocks, is a diatreme breccia pipe. Our exploration campaigns in 2017 and 2018 were centered around exploring for epithermal gold within the lithocap environment. There was plenty of indication of high flux of silica that had acidically dissolved volcanic Hazelton wall rock. We had small indications of high grade where chalcopyrite-pyrite assemblages were present. However, our ultimate conclusions were that most of the prospective parts of the lithocap had been eroded. In this slide, the top left photo shows a bomb tuff with large ejecta that is distal to the alteration. You can see the volcanic rocks that we're working in. The bottom left shows a totally silica-dominant QSP replaced volcanic rock, and the right here we're seeing structurally controlled high-grade gold within the lithocap. We've put a couple of drill holes behind this cliff outcrop, and unfortunately most of it seems to have been eroded down towards the glacier that occurs beneath Johnny Mountain. The bottom right shows multi-episodic silica introduction that we encountered when we were drilling the lithocap.
During our 2018 drilling campaign, we intersected intensely brecciated porphyry-style mineralization within a pipe that we interpreted to be a diatreme. Rocks here had coalesced A and B veins with a potassic magnetite alteration signature. Textures indicated an explosive environment above a porphyry source. Rocks here are around 80 to 90% quartz veining. Our exploration model is to find the in situ source of these rocks. This slide shows the geometry of the intrusive we encountered with 3D inversions of the geophysics overlaid. The orange halo is a depth slice of the chargeability anomaly. The light red is the high magnetite pipe that we're chasing with depth. Drill sticks are colored by copper, with the highest, most consistent grades occurring within the magnetic high in the intrusive rocks, shown here.
Our results this year intersected intrusive intervals of continuous gold and copper. We have defined two distinct intrusive phases that form a planar body directly below the quartz-rise lithocap. Copper and gold mineralization overprints the diorite, and we therefore believe we're still above the source of the mineralization. Within the intrusion, we intersected 158 meters of 0.16 grams per ton gold and 0.16% copper. In addition to this, on the margins of the intrusion, skarn mineralization returned intervals of 31.8 meters of 0.62% copper. Work at the moment is assessing exactly where we are within the system, using cross-cutting relationships, geochemistry, hyperspectral results, and geochronology. Our current interpretation is that we have a central, more mineralized intrusion that is cannibalized by a lower grade, younger intrusion. The age dates that we currently have are interesting to us. They indicate a timescale that is much larger than we were initially expecting and comparable with the time frame that formed the entire KSM district. We are extending our geochronology sample suite to get some more resolution here. This is some of the examples of the mineralization that we encountered in our 2020 drilling program. Top left, we have B veins within the later diorite. So B veins kind of overprinting an earlier diorite here. On the right hand side are truncated, brecciated, mineralized B veins that we're still trying to locate the source of, which return some of the best grades and are some of the porphyry textures that we're really looking for. The bottom right here in both of these photos is sulfide mineralization that is associated with a later QSP overprint that is overprinting and later stage to the mineralization. And then on the left here we have our skarning mineralization occurring as bands of chalcopyrite, usually following carbonate-rich bedding planes within the sedimentary wall rock to the side of the intrusions.
Our current understanding of mineralization at quartz rise describes gold and copper in sulfide-dominant veining that overprints the diorite lithology. This is enclosed and overlain by an aggressive QSP alteration below the lithocap environment. Intrusion geometry is planar and steeply dipping pipe and dikes. Seabridge's current plans are to evaluate the depth potential of this area with an MT survey before drill targeting. Our current MT coverage indicates resistivity highs below 3 known intrusion-related mineral occurrences at the Iskut property. Our priority is filling in these gaps of the survey, particularly below the quartz rise area, and to understand how mineralization is driven on a property-wide scale. This image shows that the Iskut property, while having several indications of porphyry-related occurrences, remains underexplored for the deeper core zones of the intrusions that would have caused the shallow mineralization that is currently delineated.